Welcome to CX&Chill, the real, raw customer experience podcast by Exo Studios, the creative arm of XtendApps. In today's episode of CX&Chill, Stephanie Todd interviews event and hospitality expert Manny Kess. Join as they explore the world of customer-facing experiences, the pursuit of exceeding expectations, and swimming with sharks in South Africa. Enjoy.
Thanks for tuning in. I'm Stephanie Todd, your host of CX&Chill. Today, I'm stoked. I'm here with Manny Kess from the Kess Group, also the running for Treasurer of Nevada. He's got his hands in many, many things, but really known, if you don't know his name or you're not familiar, he is known as the creator of dreams. Like, if you want to have a lifetime experience, something memorable, no matter how ridiculous it is, he makes it happen. Okay. So welcome to the show, Manny.
I accept that. Thank you.
Yeah. So maybe just to kick things off, because your hands are in so many things, do you want to tell us a little bit about how you got started and what you're up to now?
Sure. I moved to Vegas from New York in 2011, and it was a phone call. One of my buddies was out here. He had started this hospitality company, and he was like, we're expanding. We need some hard workers, some guys with vision. We want you to come out. I was like, I'll interview. Why not? It'd be cool. Mm-hmm. So I came out, and my first job in Las Vegas was actually at Wet Republic, the pool. And I was a host, so kind of like, started at the bottom. And I spent the year working for this company, kind of getting to know the city, learning the ins and outs. And after a year, I realized that I really wasn't maximizing my potential, and I wasn't able to service people the best way possible because I had to represent a venue or a few venues that I worked for instead of the city at large. Mm-hmm. So I left that job in 2012, and I started the Kess Group. And at the beginning, it was just me. I was running around, taking people to anything they want to do, restaurants, nightclubs, pool parties, shows. And then my sister joined me. She moved out from New York, and we slowly built it into what it is today, which is one of the largest hospitality companies in Vegas. Mm-hmm. I mean, we can get into things, but along the ways, I've invested in restaurants. I have a couple in California. We're at the amazing Palms Pool. We just partnered, the Kess Group partnered with the Palms Pool, and we're going to be doing events here, festivals and shows every weekend starting July 1. So I have my hands in a lot of different things, but it's always been customer facing. Yeah. And the secret sauce has been, for me, treat people the way that you want to be treated. Mm-hmm. What do I want? Good service, someone to be honest with me, and no one to pull the wool over my eyes. Yeah. And that's kind of where I started and where I still am today.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, transparency. And also, though, it sounds like you're the master of networking and relationships.
I work hard.
Come into a new city, bring your New York attitude or motto, and then come here and then just dominate.
You know what? New Yorkers, we work hard. And we have one of those, no BS mentalities. So it hasn't always been easy. I mean, I've had to deal with a lot of adversity, just like anything else, and made many mistakes along the way. But I've always believed, and I was taught from a young age, work hard, you're going to get there eventually. Yeah. And I've never been someone to shy away from challenges. So yeah, I mean, I'm very blessed to be where I am today. I've had many successes, but those came from the pitfalls and from all the learning that I did in the beginning. So
yeah. Well, and what a spectacular venue to partner with. I'm looking at pools on the second level, imagining, people having a very good time, but also the people below them having a very good time, and just free for all, DJ, everything out here that you're going to bring to, new events that you're going to have the Kess Group here at the Palms.
Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, this pool was built 4 or 5 years ago, and then obviously with the pandemic, it shut down. They reopened last year under new ownership, and the new owners weren't really in hospitality. They're just gaming operators. Sure. So after months of conversations and negotiations, they decided to let us come in here and kind of activate it and show them how amazing it can be. This is a 6,000 person venue. Wow. Like you said, it has 30 bungalows with private pools. It just has so much space. And our vision is to create some amazing events. We had Janae Aiko here for Memorial Day weekend, kind of like a kickoff party, and people just loved it. It's a $140 million venue. I mean, it's amazing. So we're really excited. It's going to be a great partnership, and hope to bring a lot of flavor to the hotel and to Vegas. We want to create unique experiences that you might not find at a normal nightclub or pool party.
Yeah. And I know a lot of people on our show listen and they have contact centers or you're dealing with one-on-one customer experiences. And here you have, 4,000 or 5,000 people potentially at a party or venue when you're hosting. So it's a little bit, higher, potentially higher expectations, higher stress level, potentially,
A lot of stress. And yeah, we're forward facing. We deal with the customers.
Yeah.
So yes, I mean, a lot of the higher end clients we talk to one-on-one and we make sure that we find out what it is that they need and not only meet their expectations, but we try to actually go above and beyond, because what better way to make somebody come back is than exceeding their expectations.
Yeah.
So that's very important to us. So yes, we're not a call center. We deal with customers directly. And then obviously with referrals. And as you get to a venue like this, people hear about an event and then they start calling in, and we try to touch as many people as we can so that we can manage and exceed their expectations.
Yeah. Well, I met a guy on a plane, and when I was on my way to Vegas,
Here we go.
I don't know if I've ever told you this, but Adrian, I met him on a plane and we were talking. I was flying from, I think, either Romania, somewhere in Europe, back to New York, and then New York to Vegas. And I met him on the plane. I was like, I don't really know exactly what I'm going to be doing in Vegas. He's like, you got to talk to Manny. Manny knows everyone. He will be the person who, like, when
That's
you're
great.
90 years old on a patio, you're sharing stories and experiences from something that you've created.
That's
so
amazing.
that is how I got your phone, like your contact information, was because of a referral of someone else who had obviously amazing experiences or incredible references. So
I mean, I guess
think
it works.
that's something to say.
I mean,
Yeah.
I think that's the ultimate compliment, right? I mean,
Yeah.
if you take care of people and they're happy and they refer you, what more can you ask for? So that's awesome. Thank you for sharing that. That's awesome.
Yeah. Well, but on top of that, so like I've heard as a female, like Bridezilla stories and things like that. So you have these big events, big experiences. Like, do you have any failures or just wild stories you've had from experiences?
Wind.
Right?
There
I
you
know. The wind just came out of nowhere. We're like getting misted. So we're very nice. I feel very cool here
Yeah.
though. But like, it's very, you're not too hot in Vegas here when you're getting misted. So just stories from experiences, things that you've put on, events that didn't go how you expected them to go.
Oh, where do I start? I mean, we've had a lot of those. Maybe not a lot of Bridezilla stories because most people that come here elope. But I mean, the reality is the majority of our clientele are high net worth, professional athlete. We deal with a lot of international royalty. So the biggest issue that I face and that we face as a company is dealing with hotels and their staff trying to also go after this clientele.
Sure.
So we'll sit there, we'll talk to people, we'll plan trip a week, a month in advance, whatever it may be. And then once they start booking hotels, hotels, they share their data in-house.
Sure.
So if you book a suite at, let's just say, the Cosmo or the Wynn, then they notify their concierge people, they notify their butlers, they notify their host team, hey, we have this VIP. So then those people start reaching out. And then it becomes a thing where, well, I'm talking to Manny. They're like, oh no, we'll take care of you because we're on the property. So a lot of our, let's call it, issues arise when now we're competing with other people trying to get into the picture.
Sure.
And unfortunately, it's not like New York where there's a respect level and it's like, all right, this person's Manny's. It's like, oh, I don't care. I work at this place, so I can call this person and try to steal him or her.
Yeah.
So a lot of our issues have been dealing with that. And for me, my ultimate goal is the client. So I want to make sure whatever you do fits your expectation in your plan.
Mm-hmm.
It's not specific to a hotel or a show or anything. It's specific to what you want to do.
Yeah.
So I'll push you to go somewhere Friday that's best for you, not, hey, I work here, come here.
Yeah.
So a lot of our issues happen when someone's like, oh, you got to come to my place.
Mm-hmm.
Well, your place doesn't fit with what they want to do.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where I've dealt with a lot of trouble over the years.
Yeah.
But as far as like crazy stories, I mean, I had this one professional athlete who we're not going to name. He's like, hey, I'm in town with 4 of my buddies.
Mm-hmm.
So we get him a reservation at dinner, get him set up at a club, shows up at the club with 45 people. It's like, wait a minute, you said it was you and 4 of your buddies. We got you one table, on the dance floor where you wanted it.
Did you misunderstand 4 to 5 or 4 to 5?
I don't know. So he rolls up and he's like, okay, we're here at 1 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, bro, it's Saturday night. I don't have 3 tables. So I literally had to sit there and like, okay, you can come in and you come in and you cannot. And I was the bad guy that night, which I don't mind doing, but
Yeah.
Those are things that happen on occasion. Oh, we met this person at dinner, or this person showed up, and or they post on Instagram that I'm in Vegas, and then everyone just calls. It's like, hey, I'm here too. Let's link up. So those are things that we deal with from time to time, which is a lot of fun because there's no really time to plan. So it's on the fly. And we make it work to the best of our ability, but those are some interesting, fun times.
Yeah, especially if they want to be big time. They're like, hey, I got this table. I am in charge. Like, I got this whole nightclub.
Manny's going to take care of it.
Yeah, he'll take care of all of it.
Yeah.
I mean, that at least it's flattering to know that everyone just assumes you'll take care of it.
Yes.
So I guess that's a good
and
thing.
You know what? To their it's 99% success rate.
Yeah.
So in their defense, I usually come through, but there's always that 1%.
Yeah.
You want to come in Memorial Day weekend with 45 people, it's a little harder than coming on a regular weekend. So
yeah, well, it's especially important, I think, knowing up front what the needs are, to your point, and so that you can really be able to satisfy or even over deliver what they want, but they have to be honest and upfront with what they're planning to do in the first place.
Oh yeah, I mean, we just won the Stanley Cup last week, so it was amazing for the city, obviously for the whole state. So I can't tell you how many people call me like, hey, I want tickets for this. I want, like, okay. And then it went from 2 to 4 to 8. I'm like, guys, it's like the biggest thing that ever happened to Las Vegas.
Yeah.
We don't just have hundreds of tickets waiting around. Go on Ticketmaster. Oh, but come on, man. Get me a better price. And yeah, of course, I'll do what I can. But some things and sometimes the ask just doesn't make sense or it's not possible. Yeah. Happens a lot with fight weekends. When there's a big fight, people are like, oh, get me 4 ringside tickets. I'm like, sure. It's $8,000 a ticket. Come on, man. You can do it for better. I'm like, I'm not the fight promoter. I can get you the access, but this is what it costs. So if you want to be ringside for this particular fight, that's what it's going to cost. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, it's funny. People have expectations, but sometimes it doesn't actually meet what they want to do, or maybe the budget doesn't coincide with what they want. So we adjust. We make it happen.
Yeah. What do you have any tips on like how you can do that with like, how do you have those sensitive conversations of like, this is what I think I want, and that that's not going to work?
I'm just brutally honest. I mean, right now I'm dealing with a 14-person bachelor party, and they're coming in a few weeks, and they're like, oh, we want to go here and here and here. And they've picked the cheapest table at every place, and they want to go to the best restaurant. I'm like, all right, if you're going to go to this particular restaurant on a Friday night, you're going to have to do a minimum spend because that's what they require. Oh, come on, you can hook us up. It's like, no, that's the requirement. And if you're going to go to this nightclub on Saturday, and you're 14 guys, why do you want the cheapest table? Well, because we're not going to really drink. I go, you're 14 guys. Yeah. Every round that you drink is basically 1 bottle. So you're going to drink 3 or 4 bottles before you meet one girl. Yeah. And you're a 14-guy bachelor party. Are you guys going to have girls come? Of course. So you're going to have 20 people. So they're like, oh, I didn't realize that. I go, yeah, it doesn't matter what's cheapest. What matters is what you're going to spend. So we sat there and we did the math. We're like, all right, you're going to drink 5 bottles, right? Okay, what do you drink? We like tequila. All right, well, if you drink 1942, it's $1,400 a bottle. If you drink Casamigos, it's $800. Which one are you going to drink? Oh, we'll do both. All right, well, we came up with a number. This is what you need to get. Yeah. And he was blown away. He's like, oh, man, I talked to these promoters, and they told me that this. I go, because they just want you in the building. Oh, I want you to have fun. If you're going to spend $4 or $5 grand, I don't want you to be at the $2,000 table because you're going to be by the bathroom stall. Yeah. When with the money that you're spending, you can have a much better experience and be in a better section. And they were like, wow. And then with the dinner reservations, these other people could not get the reservations. I'm like, yeah, because you can't get 14 guys at this restaurant on a Saturday or a Friday without a minimum spend. Are you going to eat? Yes. Are you going to drink? Yes. Do you think you're going to spend $100 a person? Yes. Well, then what's the problem with the $1,500 minimum spend for dinner? Yeah. Oh, they didn't explain it to me. Yeah. And that's what you do. If you just break it down and you're honest, and you explain the reasoning, people go, oh, that makes sense. Yeah. Like, I'm not telling you to get the $20,000 owner's table. Yeah. I'm telling you to get the table that's best for you. Yeah.
Well, and then it ends up being where the experience is actually a great one versus what you go in expecting, and then you're still paying money, and then your expectations are lower. I'll tell you a story. When I was in Vegas, I did one of those, like, we're all walking around, and they're like, hey, free strip clubs if you get in the limo. We'll get you a limo there and back. And the group I was with, primarily men, right? They're all like, we should do it. We get a free limo ride there and back. And I don't remember what was all included, but they were totally bought in. I was like, this seems like it's a bad idea, you guys.
Come on, it's a great idea.
That promoter was very good at his job. I'm going to tell you, on the street corner, flipping those things. And so we got in this limo. The limo there was, it was okay. The limo back was not a limo. It was a very shady SUV with like duct tape doors. And I was like, this is not what we were told this was going to be.
Yeah.
And I was a little concerned about that. But I had a couple of the guys are bigger. So we're like, okay, we'll be fine. And the place we went to was also... Let me just say, one of the guys there was just not doing emails the entire time we were at this place, which doesn't seem like what the intent of going to a strip club would be. So it was, I would say, you know, kind of understanding people's needs and what they're actually hoping and have expectations on versus just listening to some random promoter is obviously going to be a far better.
Yeah. And it goes back to what we said, like that person probably worked for that venue. So they're going to sell you that it's a Taj Mahal when in fact, like you said, there's duct tape and things falling apart. And that's why. And
that wasn't even the women.
Well, let's not go there.
So we won't go to that.
But that's the point. Like concierge companies like mine are so important because we work for the client.
Yeah.
And we want you to be happy so that you A, come back, and B, tell all your friends. So we don't work for a venue and we don't care because we're just, you know, churning and burning. And so that's why it's so important. And one thing about the Kess Group, we don't market. We don't spend $1 on advertising. So our business is strictly word of mouth. And to get to where we are now, we're one of the largest companies in Vegas. It's a testament to the hard work. I mean, my staff and what we've built over the years is based off of blood, sweat, and tears and success stories. If we're screwing you over, you're not coming back and calling us. And when you deal with celebrities, athletes, high net worth, they don't have a very big patience for error.
No.
Because they have everyone trying to take care of them. So the fact that we have these relationships, it just says, okay, these guys are doing something right. And I'm grateful because let's be real. And it's not like rocket science. Anyone can do what we do. We just happen to do it really well and better than most.
Yeah.
But I don't take it for granted. It's like, oh my God, I'm not Elon Musk in creating Tesla. I'm a guy who moved out to the city and just found a way to take care of people the way that I wanted to be taken care of. And there was a gap. Because when I first moved out here and I would call people, they wouldn't call me back. Hey, I want to go to your restaurant. Nothing. I want to come to your club. Nothing. So that's where it was like, wait a minute, I can do this and I can do it better. And 12 years later, here we are. So it's pretty amazing. But I want people to understand that you can move here tomorrow and do what I do. You just have to work hard, be honest, understand that there's ups and downs. You're going to get screwed over. People are going to steal some of your clients. You know, and you just got to go through it and have a little, you know, have a tough skin and don't let that stuff keep you down.
Yeah. Well, I'm not planning on moving here or doing that. I'm really good at outsourcing, so I will be relying on you for that.
Me.
Yeah, I just call you. I'm like, Manny, I need your help. So yeah, I mean, and speaking of celebrities, like I think it also shows there's a testament to people who were your clients also become friends, and you've almost become like these true like business friendship, partnerships, whatever you want to call it. Because you have, like you were saying, Travis Kelce, who I love, like his brother's show with his mom.
Oh,
and
he's
dad.
awesome. They're
like,
awesome.
Oh my God, I giggle at that show, especially their parents like arguing about their perspective on how they met each other, whatever. But you have like OBJ, Von Miller, you know, people like that who do have high expectations because they're surrounded by people constantly telling them that they can have it all or they can give them a better experience. So how does that transform from the early days of friendship or meeting clients to kind of that long partnership over time?
Well, I mean, with those guys, again, I was just somebody who provided a service in the beginning, right? We met through someone. In Von's case, we met through the late Damaris Thomas, amazing guy. So we met and I took care of them when they came here once. And then I went to Denver as DT's guest, went to a game, met Von, and we just kind of built a relationship that way. And he used to come out here a few times a year. He has this amazing pass rush summit that he does where he invites pass rushers from all over every team in the NFL to come and they teach each other their particular tricks. And they're like, all right, call Manny, he'll take care of you. And I just did that and I took care of them. And after hanging out with somebody several times and talking to them, if you align, you become friends, right? And then we started going on vacations together. And I mean, I can mention this. Me, Von, and Odell went on Drake's tour years ago. We did Amsterdam, we did London, Manchester, because Drake was on tour in Europe. And we just were like, hey, we're going to just go check it out. So it was amazing. Not because I was with Von or Odell, no, I was with my friends. And we just got to experience Europe and have a great time. And when they're not in front of the spotlight, they're just regular guys just looking to have meaningful conversation like me. They're both entrepreneurs. I mean, Travis, amazing.
Yeah.
He's larger than life personality. Yes, he's an amazing football player, but he also has a clothing company. He has several other businesses. He's a brilliant and a very grounded human being. So when we're not talking about football, it's about, all right, what are you working on right now? What's your latest project? How can I help you? And vice versa.
Yep.
So it's not just that Manny is my plug for Vegas or for Miami or for LA. It's, oh, this guy's a business owner.
Yeah.
And he started from nothing and look at what he's built. Oh, Manny owns restaurants. I want to get into that. Let me call him and see what works for him.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where the friendship kind of builds. But that's not with all my clients. Some of my clients and I give them a great service, but we're different human beings.
Yep.
We like different things. And then we just stay like that. I'm just the plug. So with different people, it all depends on if we align or not on a different level.
Yeah. Well, it's the vibe and energy and kind of what you're doing. And you're kind of creating a supportive network for friends where you have some of the similar interests or things you want to build together. And then if they see that true trust and transparency when you're doing other things, and it just, I think, leads into that, because I'm sure it's hard, even though like everyone puts their pants on one leg at a time. There's certain people who I think people try to like pull on those pants, or they try to make it a little bit more difficult of like who to trust in life, right?
100%.
And so it's like not knowing who they can trust or what to believe anymore, and everyone's out to get them after money. Like you even hear lottery winners who, as soon as their name's in the in the media, instantly they're like everyone's their cousin, right? So it's like, you know, and I have to wonder too. So like, you know, I had a little dabbling with my ex who was in football, and the times that I was mother hen to like 20-some-year-old men who got some large checks and were very, you know, athletic freaks, right? Like they worked really hard, but like the amount of trouble some of them would get into, where I'd be like, okay, I'll go claim this person from the hotel lobby or they're going to get arrested. Like, is that a hard thing to do when you're managing these big events and have these big experiences where you have probably very difficult situations, either with celebrities or not, that you have to manage? And how do you manage through some of those like crisis or challenging situations?
Well, let's touch on the first thing. Like when it comes to celebrities, you mentioned Odell. Odell doesn't need me. He has a manager. He has an agent. He has literally staff on staff that will do whatever he wants. And then people that just love him, that want to help him out.
Sure.
So he doesn't wake up in the morning saying, oh, I need Manny. But he trusts me.
Maybe he does.
No, he doesn't. But he trusts me enough to know that if he needs something done, he's going to make one call or shoot one text to me and it'll get done. And that's the difference. And arguably enough, I always thought when I was younger that the agents and the managers are going to hate me. They love me because it's one less thing that they've got to worry about. Yeah. The last thing an agent wants to do is worry about their client in Vegas or in Miami or anywhere in the middle of the night. Yeah. So when they know that they're with me, like, okay, Manny's got it. Yeah. And that's a blessing for them and for me.
Yeah, well, and it was a rumor too that they didn't have sports teams here because all the sports teams were concerned about bringing young athletes to Vegas, and then they tested it out with a couple of the teams, and now it's blowing up with.
I mean, it hasn't been easy. I mean, the Raiders when they first got here, it wasn't easy, but at the end of the day, as long as there's understanding and there's conversations and there's safeties in place, there's a recipe for success.
Sure.
And then when you get to the larger things like these events, we can't control everything, but what we can do is create enough procedures and protocols where we can minimize not so much failures, but unexpected occurrences.
Sure.
No one's perfect. And for me, I was nervous taking this on because it's my name and my company. And usually I can control the majority of what I do with my clients. Now, when I have 5,000 people here, I can't control that.
Yeah.
But great partner with the Palms and their staff aligned with our staff. Our Memorial Day weekend events went pretty well with no issues. Yeah. And that's just a testament to planning, having made mistakes in the past, seeing what other people do, right and wrong, learning, and trying to just create the best experience possible.
Yeah. So what is like your favorite, when you look back, what was one of your favorite events or experiences or most memorable that you've had in your life or created for others?
Well, I'm an investor and a part owner of this company called Uncommon Events, and we have the rights to Maxim for the Super Bowl party.
Sure.
So when we did our Super Bowl Miami event, that was probably my proudest moment because everybody was in South Beach or downtown Miami doing all these events. We went off the beaten path on this little island and we did this big event And we ended up, we had Post Malone as our headlining DJ along with like Rick Ross and other people, other talent. And we did over 6,000 people at that event. And everyone was like, oh, you guys are going to fail. Because, you know, there's Live, there's Story, there's 11, and all these other things. They're like, there's no way you guys succeed.
And you went off the beaten path, too.
Yeah, and we went off the beaten path, and we crushed it. We were the biggest event that weekend. People still talk about it. And it was just like me and a couple of my buddies started this company, and there you go. It was amazing to see. We did like 8 months of planning and prepping and all that hard work. And I don't know if you know this, but that weekend, weather was terrible in Miami. So it was like basically a hurricane.
Okay.
So
a little less than what we're
no, a lot more than this. So we're at our event and we have over 6,000 people there. The fire marshals are there, like the city's there because like, okay, there's all this bad weather coming and we might have to shut you down. And we're like, please keep, wait an hour or two. So it worked out. But it was amazing because everyone was betting against us. And we not only succeeded, but we crushed it.
Yeah. And do you do like meditation? I know you were saying you were blessed by a monk in Bali. So
I try to take several trips a year where I just unwind because, again, we're forward facing. So every day of my life, I'm on a phone, I'm on a text, I'm dealing with people. So there's no days off. This isn't like a 9 to 5. So yes, I went to Bali in November. I took 10 days to completely unwind. So I do a little bit of meditating every day. When I go to the gym, my phone gets in the cubicle for an hour. So I try to find ways where I can unplug for at least, whether it's 10 minutes or an hour just to do something. And then every few months, I'm gone. I need my me time, me and a couple of my friends, just to be able to remind myself that, hey, you work hard, you've got to enjoy it. Yeah. You can't just be doing this all the time. And it's literally a bottomless pit. There is no days off. Yeah. Last night I was sleeping. Thank God I learned to put my phone on Do Not Disturb. I was getting texts until 3 o'clock in the morning. Yeah. It's just the nature of the beast. So that's what I do. I like to travel and get away, or every day when I go to the gym, put my phone down and not even look at it for an hour, hour and a half.
Is it hard to travel though? Because you have a expectation level now of what you would want at some of these places, or you find some places that treat you the way that you would want to be treated?
Oh, hell no. Like Bali, I had no expectations. I'm planning on a safari in South Africa in August. It's not the States, so I'm not expecting great customer service. I'm just going for the experience. I've never been there, just to go and see, take in nature, and literally do the opposite. I'm not like backpacking. I still like stay in a nice hotel, get my nice meals, but I go with the flow when I'm abroad. We talked about this before. I went to Colombia for my birthday in April. It was all about just going boating, relaxing, went sightseeing. It was me and one of my buddies, and that was it. So it's the complete opposite of what I would want if I went to LA or if I go to Barcelona or London when I want that high end. Yes, I want to go to the best restaurants. I want to stay in an amazing hotel. I want the car service. But on my trips, my unwind trips, no, I'm wearing flip-flops every single day and a white t-shirt and hopefully a bathing suit because there's water involved. Yeah. When I'm away from the desert. So
yeah, well, you could do the shark diving, like the cage diving in South Africa.
Yes.
I don't know if you've done crazy things like that.
I have not. Really. I mean, I'm kind of not nervous, but the shark would win. So I'm like,
well, there's maybe metal bars. Other than that horror movie that the cage fell into the bottom.
Yeah, I don't trust any of that stuff.
Yeah, I don't know. I will say I've been to Pinda in South Africa. It's an amazing experience, and it is really good experience when you go. And I also didn't do the like camping thing. It was very like white linen, but I also didn't follow the rules. So when you leave your little hut, you're supposed to have a security guard with you. And I was like, I'll be fine. It's like right over there. I'll walk. Well, they informed me that a lady had been eaten by a lion because she got lost walking. And I was like, oh, now I understand why I'm supposed to call you and have an escort with a gun.
I got this. Thanks. Yeah.
So that's my only tip for you when you go down there. I'm sure it will be great.
Yeah. So my little tear gas spray thing isn't going to help? Okay, fine.
Like you could see what happens. I mean, life is about stories. I mean, as long as someone else is there to tell your story afterwards.
Okay. Manny got eaten by a lion, guys, but don't worry.
I mean, it's a badass way to go, though. Like, imagine, like, you die by, like, drowning in your toilet. Like, I hope someone would be like, let's pretend that she got eaten by a lion instead of something that's a really, like, for anyone who's done that or had family members, I'm sorry, but, like, pathetic way to die. Like, that would really suck.
Okay, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, well, it sounds like fun. How about anything on the horizon? I know you've done drone shows. Like, what's next when you try to bring, like, life to these crazy experiences? Like, what have you seen kind of coming up or trends?
Well, we have F1 here in November, so the city's obviously extremely excited, and then we go into Super Bowl here. So we're talking to a lot of our corporate sponsors, a lot of companies that we work with. Live Golf, we partner with them on Common. We work with them on some talent stuff. So we're trying to kind of bring all the big guns together to create, over the top is used a lot, but a very unique experience. So those are the two projects that we're looking at. Personally, I think F1 is scary here. Year one, closing on the strip, it's a night race. So I'm very cautious when I look at that.
Sure.
But Super Bowl in Vegas is usually extremely busy without the game being here. So that's going to be, I think, probably one of the biggest events in the past decade in the States.
Yeah.
So we want to be a part of that and create something unique. So that's really where a lot of our focus is. We're talking to a lot of the hotels here in town. And again, kind of bringing a lot of different companies. You mentioned the drone show. They're great, but they're 6 figures. So you can't just throw one up there.
Yeah.
There has to be a lot of planning, a marketing idea, and value to do that. So we have some really cool stuff. We're talking to some amazing talent to do something that's not, out of the beaten path and not normal.
Yeah.
So hopefully come February, you're gonna be like, oh man, he did it. But those are the 2 projects that we're currently working on that can be very amazing.
Yeah, it's Manny, he did it. Right? That could be your new tagline.
Manny's usually part of a much bigger group of people and people that are a lot smarter than me. But I love being involved in those conversations. But I'm not going to sit here and say that I am the innovator and the creator. No, I like to be detail oriented, and I like to be included and add value. So as long as I can add value, I'm all for it.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for being on the show. It's an absolute pleasure. Something a little different for our audience, getting experiences that aren't, a little bit more unique from what we're used to, but still bring the same value, credibility, and, some of the tactical advice to what they're doing.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Listen, I love what I do. And that saying, do what you love, you never work a day in your life. I'm so lucky because I've gotten so many experiences, so many amazing experiences. Like Travis, I went to the game with his family and we're talking about it. I'm like, I've been to more Super Bowls than most players. And that's not like a bragging. It's just a testament to I work hard, I take care of people. And then they're like, hey, let me return the favor. Yeah. So it's so amazing to have those opportunities and to be able to, like you said, when I'm hopefully 80 or 90 one day, I can talk about that time when I was in my 30s and I was in Vegas and I was this nightlife guy and look at where it took me. So it's pretty amazing. And now with the restaurants and we talk about cork and batter and these other things that I'm doing, it still ties in. It's still hospitality. Yeah. It's a restaurant. There's a million of them, but we've just done a really good job of connecting with the client and seeing what is it that you want and creating a little bit of a more elevated experience than you could have had somewhere else. Yeah. So it's really a blessing, but I'm very, very lucky to be here. Thank you so much. It's been an amazing experience.
Yes, thank you too. Maybe we'll have to take a dip in the pool in a little bit.
Yeah, or get blown away. I don't know with this wind, but
who knows? Maybe we'll start pumping the music.
There you go. Yeah. Yes.
We'll forget about the wind. So
true. Very true.
Yes. Well, thank you. Appreciate your time. Tune in for another CX&Chill. I'm Stephanie Todd.
Huge shout out to Brittany Kelly and Carly Carolla at FW Rentals in lovely Las Vegas, Nevada for their support in custom logo work. FW Rental provides rental and custom build-out solutions for all of your event and production needs. We love you, Brittany and Carly. Learn more at fwrental.com. That's fwrental.com. And that's our show. CX&Chill is a production of EXO Studios, the creative marketing arm of XtendOps, with today's host, Stephanie Todd. Executive producer is Sean McCreary. Producers David Spear, Clarissa Coronado, and Memo Davalos. Editors and videographers Santiago Aguirre, Alfonso Ramirez. Graphic support from Jordan Madrid, and social media guru Claudia Corona.